The biggest IPO of the year just happened Thursday, and Cerebras stock surged 100% on day number one.
Because the year of the AI IPO is upon us, and it reminds us of 2018.
It's Yeti's last weekend before Memorial Day. You know what that means, Jack.
The birds are chirping, the flowers are blossoming, love is in the air.
To quote an enthusiastic Vince Vaughn, it's wedding season, baby.
Wall Street has begun a different season, and they started it on Thursday. IPO season.
Oh, and they are dressed up, baby. SpaceX IPOs next month will be the biggest in history, then Anthropic, then OpenAI.
Those could be the three biggest IPOs in Wall Street history all in the same year. It's crazy.
But on Thursday, we got the first IPO of the year, and it's the biggest IPO of the year so far. The company we're talking about is Cerebras.
It's an AI company whose stock doubled the moment it began trading on Thursday.
Bestie, Cerebras ended the day worth $95 billion. Jackie, sprinkle on some context, please.
This chip company you've never heard of is worth more than Airbnb. It's worth more than Nike. It's worth the equivalent of 19 Lyfts.
And just like the first wedding of the year, you know what went down, Jack.
Investors went all out. They smuggled little shooters inside their jacket that they sipped on during the nuptials, and they tossed those $1 bills all over the dance floor.
Wow, spoiler, Jack's fun guy to go to a wedding with. But besties, this is what Jack and I find fascinating. The reason Cerebras doubled on day number one of trading?
It's because the year is not 2026. It's 2020 chips.
The theme of the year, besties, isn't AI. It's the computer chips powering AI.
GPUs like NVIDIA. NVIDIA last week became the first company to hit $5.5 trillion in value.
The VanEck Semiconductor ETF, it's up 61% so far this year.
Poet, a random chip stock you've also never heard of, it's memeing right now. It's tripled in just the last month.
But here's the funny part. Cerebras actually hates the term chip, even though that's their industry.
Well, they say they don't make chips, they make wafers.
Wafers. You see, besties, Jack and I jumped in T-Boy style to the IPO paperwork, and we noticed they said the word wafer 127 times.
What is a wafer? It's a giant slice of 99.99% pure silicon. That's why they call it Silicon Valley. And it looks like a Cheez-It, but way bigger.
It's like a big, square, cat-sized fig Newton. That's what I'm looking at, Jack.
Wafers are the rawest form of compute.
They're actually 58 times larger than your average AI chip, and they look like they were made in a giant tree by a bunch of giant Keebler elves.
After all, they're called wafers.
But again, why is this wafer so critical to this company, Jack?
Bigger wafers are faster at processing than smaller chips. So it solves AI's awkward silence problem.
The awkward silence. You know, besties, when you ask ChatGPT about that thing on your thigh,
and then it takes like 30 seconds to process your query?
That's the awkward silence you get with an AI chat.
Cerebras says that their huge wafers speed up AI's response time.
Less awkward silence.
So that you don't need to jump into another tab while you're waiting for your answer to be processed, only to forget that you asked it about the thing on your thigh in the first place.
So, besties, it's no wonder OpenAI is both the biggest customer and the biggest shareholder of this company, Cerebras.
And we're not surprised one bit that Sam Altman has set himself aside 89,000 shares of this hot IPO, Cerebras.
Apparently, Sam Altman has a craving for wafers, and now we know why. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies at the biggest IPO of the year, Cerebras?
Too many IPOs, like too many wedding invitations, requires hard decisions.
Look, Yetis, if you're 25 to 35 years old, you probably got like a dozen wedding invites this summer. You got a stack of white papers on your counter.
But here's the problem. You just can't go to every wedding you get invited to. You don't have enough time or enough money to travel.
Like $2,000 just to fly to Martha's Vineyard in July. So to keep our wedding analogy going, there's a similar issue facing this epic AI IPOs of the 2026 summer.
Think about it. The markets are at crazy high all-time highs. Everybody already has all their cash in stocks because they bought every dip that there's been.
I mean, Jack, SpaceX is looking to sell $75 billion of stock next month. That's more than most entire years worth of IPOs.
Where is the money gonna come from? That's the question.
Yeah, investors want to buy SpaceX, Anthropic, OpenAI, Cerebras, but they'll need to sell something to come up with the cash.
So will investors have to sell older tech stocks like Microsoft, Google, and Apple in order to buy the newly listed tech stocks coming later this summer?
Besties, the year of the AI IPOs could come at the expense of other tech stocks.
In 2018, I got invited to too many weddings. In 2026, we have too many IPOs. You gotta make some hard decisions.
Let us know what you're doing. Drop it in the comments. We'll see you after the break.